Oh, damn, everybody. We are live. We have a very special show tonight. Special for a couple reasons. One, Raven is going to teach me about. Oh, see, we already have viewers. That's insane. Okay, maybe you're right. Because I always start swearing like that's the first word. So, Raven taught me this thing. He said, don't swear for 5 minutes. So, we're going to go 5 minutes, Raven and I, without swearing, which is effing insane.
Also, this is a cigar. So I was spitting game to Chuck. The way YouTube is YouTube has this thing in the algorithm where if you curse or if you talk about something that is political, I think, or has connotations that are against society expectations in any way, shape, or form that could offend, you will not get views. So we are attempting to not curse and not say anything too provocative within the first 5 minutes. And we are smoking a cigar. This is legal.
I'm not smoking anything because I'm going that full 5 minutes.
And this 5 minutes is lasting a long time.
Dude, we're at 1 minute 25 seconds.
I know. I know. Do you feel how censored you feel?
I hate it. So
when you feel the Matrix is like just squeezing.
Here's the thing. I'm used to listening to because I'm a metalhead, so I listen to whatever the hell I want, whenever I want to, and I'm used to listening to satellite radio where they can swear. So then when we came over, like when I switched vehicles, it didn't have the satellite hookup, so I had to listen to regular crap radio, and it's so censored. It pisses me off. And a song that I like an awful lot. I'm sure this song is probably right down your alley. It's called Adidas by Korn. Do you know that song? All day I dream about sex. All day I dream about. And so what's funny is he sings that, but in the censored version, what they basically do is they basically have like a DJ take his vocals and just kind of scratch it.
Yeah.
So he basically, where he would say, all day I dream about effing, he ends up saying, all day I dream about blah, blah, blah. And to me, it sounds like muffins. And I was like, see, this is a fat guy song. All day I dream about sex, and all day I dream about muffins, which is just the truth.
It's true. It's true. Blueberry muffin. Ladies out there, I want you to know I love your blueberry muffin. I love it. It's delicious.
Here's the funny thing. Not a blueberry guy, but when you get a blueberry muffin with like freshly cooked or piping hot with butter on it, oh, damn, dude. Damn.
I love that you and I, as fat guys, can really, truly talk about our appreciation of a really good blueberry muffin. Mm-hmm. Ladies, I would like you to know I'm not talking about the food right now. We are using metaphors because that is how we have to speak on the internet nowadays. We have to use code. I love your blueberry muffin in my mouth, all in my mouth. It's delicious. The most
for 1 minute and 11 seconds. That's how we have to talk.
We have done so well, Chuck. I did not think this was possible because I know you. I know your intro, and I was like, dude, I don't know if we can do this. I haven't never done a clean set. I've never done 5 minutes without cursing in my life.
You know what? Okay, so there's a good question. While we're staying clean for another minute, who is your favorite clean comic?
I just want to say somebody, but I don't know if it would affect the 30 seconds where I have to make, but it's a joke because I've never actually listened to him. I've never listened to the guy who did the thing with the sleep thing, with the ladies thing, who has the family TV show thing. I don't want to say his name, who also was Fat Albert. I've never seen his comedy, but I heard his comedy that's clean is amazing.
It was.
Tell me about it. I haven't seen it. But the best clean comedian that I really like is 8 seconds. Oh my God, I can't believe we did it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck!
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck because I care.
That's my motherfucker right there.
Whoa! Oh my God! That felt like we was edging. That felt like you was having sex and you weren't allowed to come. And you was like, baby, let me come, motherfucker. And she was like, no. She like, squeeze your dick. Keep that fucking coming out your fucking dick. Come. Now I can fucking come. I can say,
dude, it felt exactly like edging. That is the fucking funniest thing. It felt exactly like edging. Oh shit.
YouTube, you're evil. You're evil. Your algorithm is evil. Skynet, you can kiss my dick.
Kiss his black dick, because now we're allowed to see that shit.
Thank you, black dick. You can kiss my black dick, Skynet. And it's not racist because it's actually black. It's beautiful.
Blueberry muffins be blue balling.
Oh my God.
Oh, guys.
Dude, every time I see you on a podcast with someone else, there's a little insecure bitch inside of me that gets jealous. It's like, you guys get to have fun with Chuck.
That's my man right there. You know what? So here's something funny about you. I have not invited Pat Shand on yet. I think it's just out of mad love to you because I don't know how I'd fucking explain it. Like, by the way, I got your boy on here without me. Yeah, I know, dude. I know.
Oh shit. Dude, so what's going on in your world, man?
Fuck. So, being straight, being honest, I've had to take a step back from comics because money.
Yeah.
So I've been working like literally like 6-7 days a week, and then getting in editing and writing gigs like when I got a minute.
Oh yeah, man. The grind is real. I got one of my boys. I'm gonna see if I can get him in on the podcast if he's not being a little bitch somewhere. And I could call him a bitch because he's my bitch. Not because he's a woman, even though he kind of is, because he's my bitch. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can get him in. He was going hard with me in the paint doing comedy. You know, you gotta like grind to fucking make this shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, it was like sometimes like you gotta work, you gotta get that money to freaking take care of your responsibilities, and your passion can't come first, even though you want to, and it kills you, you know, because this is the shit that makes us happy, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
But
absolutely.
We got to do the bullshit to get there. It's like it's like working out, which I've been doing a lot lately. You got to get really fucking worked out to get to that little bit of high.
We're going to talk about that in just a sec. First, Wendy here says, I had to come see who's making my husband cry. It's Raven. Understandable. That's my girl there, boys.
One of these days, also, I will do a podcast where I don't cough.
I don't believe, dude. Why?
No, I mean, I'll learn how to smoke weed without coughing. John gives me shit all the time because I don't know how to smoke weed properly, apparently.
Okay, so first off, that's bullshit. Second off, what up, girl? How you doing, baby? Coughing is good for you when you smoke weed.
Really?
You don't. How does a pothead like you not know this? Okay, when you cough, you're opening up the pores. Like your pores open up in your throat and your chest, and that shit goes right the fuck in. Coughing actually exacerbates, like speeds up your high.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good. I mean, it feels good.
Get the fuck over it. You're 40-something. Like,
you cough the right way. Well, Chuck, recently, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Recently, I discovered, you know how we breathe, Chuck?
I mean, I want to say through our mouth and nose.
No, like you're breathing right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not how we're supposed to breathe, dude. I was 150 pounds more than I am right now. Breathing is a whole different thing. Breathing when you exercise is a whole different thing. It's like, oh my God, this feels good to breathe. Like breathing is like, but when you smoke and smoke cigarettes and smoke weed, you can feel the difference. And I'm like, oh, that's what it felt like to breathe when I was a lot heavier. I don't like that shit. I like the high. I don't like the fucking not breathing shit.
Look at this shit. What filter is Raven using? He looks fucking amazing. That's the workout we were talking about.
Hey,
you
Bob,
lost 150 pounds.
My dick looks amazing. My dick looks like a fucking stunt double for Steven Seagal that stayed in a fucking tanning salon too long. For those of you who don't know, Tom is the identical doppelganger of Steven Seagal. We have given him shit for years of looking like he played the part in Marked for Death. He has a scale set or whatever. Whatever. Oh, he's Russian or I don't know. What is he now? A Russian cop who arrests people on TV?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's some weird shit. But yeah, that's Tom.
What else we got going? Menthol cigs makes it stronger too. That's how I got hooked on cigarettes. Oh, hon, get off those smokes and just smoke weed like a normal person. Fuck.
Yeah. For real.
Are you smoking while complaining about smoking?
I'm not. I'm a fucking enigma, man.
I'm a fucking enigma.
That happens sometimes.
So here's the thing, sir. He's smoking. I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Normally, hanging out with Raven, and when Raven and I end up doing a show together in like Arizona or whatever, we will fucking smoke together. But I can't smoke during the day. And the reason why I can't smoke is because for all of my existence of smoking weed, I've only basically smoked in two different ways. One is party. You smoke through the whole party, you drink through the whole party, you get moving, and then when you're done, you pass out. Or I smoke at the end of the night, have a little treat, and then go to sleep. So because of that, when I smoke, my brain basically goes, look, either it's a party or you're going to sleep. That's the only way. Oh, what? You're not partying? Good night, bitch. And I'll be like having to fight not to go to sleep.
Right.
So that's why I can't smoke right now, because in an hour I'd be like, motherfucker, I gotta go to sleep. I'm done.
Have you ever tried doing weed intravenously?
What, like?
Yeah, so there's actually this thing. So what they do is they take a bunch of smoke and basically they keep it in a place for an X amount of period of time. And then the smoke itself actually ionizes the air, and you put that smoke in a syringe and you can inject it like testosterone. And the high is the most amazing thing in the world. That story is not true. I just want to see if somebody on the internet hears that part and is dumb enough to fucking do that.
you had me. I was like, really now?
Like,
because the whole time I'm going, I don't want to do anything with needles. If I have to do a fucking needle to get higher, I guess I'm just not getting higher. Fuck you. That's fucking funny, dude.
Oh,
that's
shit.
fucking
no,
funny.
man, dude. I have the opposite thing with weed. I have searched for a weed that will put me to sleep. No weed puts me to sleep except that RFO. They have a special fucking dude. It's so scary when Tom says I'll chop you because I'm high. So I'm automatically thinking of Steven Seagal popping up behind me and fucking chopping me and shit with a fucking ponytail. It's fucking weird. But yeah, so there's this thing called RFO that they give for people that have medical marijuana cards and shit. And it's literally in a syringe, and it's like a thick fucking gum, like pure fucking THC. And that shit knocked me the fuck out. I was like, whew. But other than that, weed has never put me to sleep. I have no idea why. It just doesn't affect me that way.
Fuck, dude.
I wish that affected me like the way it affected you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's just and so like a buddy of mine gave me an eighth a couple weeks ago, and I just smoke like half a bowl every night before I go to bed, and that's about it. That's all I do. And so an eighth can last me a long time. So, I've never been able to do the wake and bake thing. I've been married with kids and whatnot since I got married at 20, had my first kid at 21. So there was always that kind of responsibility of don't want to be smoking while the kids are around. And then eventually it was just I'd already gotten into the habit of you smoke like this and that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So,
dude, you can use weed medicinally very easily, and it
Oh.
works. If you use it the way it's meant to be used, it's an amazing fucking what's the word? Accentuation to life. It has none of the fucking bad effects of over drinking or all that. It's so crazy. It's so crazy it took this long. And the reason it took this long to fucking enjoy weed, I quit smoking weed for 10 years because it always made me get paranoid and jitty. You ever heard people say weed does that?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody told me that's because you've been smoking sativa. And as soon as I started just smoking indica, oh my God, the world fucking opened up. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking, life is pretty easy if you let it be.
You know what? I'll now and then, I've had you get an abscess, you just got mad pain in your tooth and whatnot, and I'll just fuck it, I'm gonna hit the pipe, feeling great. You know what I mean? Just ride right through that. So yeah, it's a pain reliever. It's a bunch of shit. So yeah, man.
By the way, Chuck, I just want you to know, whenever we do these podcasts, I never look at the comments unless they pop up on the bottom of the screen and shit. But my eye just glanced over to fucking what Sarah just said. And I'm like, oh my God, you horrible motherfucker. Do you know how high I am right now? Now I'm thinking of Steven Seagal, but it's actually Tom and he's behind me and he has his cock out. You know how fucked up that is? I'm sitting here right now and in my head, I know there's not someone standing behind me, but there's this whole space over here in which someone could be standing behind me with their dick out.
Yeah.
Horrible, Sarah.
And she said this, my therapist tried to tell me secondhand weed smoke doesn't get you high. That is bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Your therapist is dumb as fuck.
Yeah. Well, he is a therapist, so...
We had a cat. We would all go because we didn't want to smoke anywhere. When it's winter, you don't want to smoke outside, but you don't want to smoke in the house because there's kids. So we would smoke in the bathroom, turn on the fan afterwards, and just it'd suck everything out. Yeah. So we go in there, we're smoking in there, and there's a bunch of us. And every time we would go to walk in there to smoke, the cat knew what the fuck was going on, and he would bolt right for the bathroom and just sit there and get fucked. And it's not like we were sitting there blowing supers into the fucking feline's mouth or nothing, but we're smoking there, and he's just like, this is where I want to be, man. And he did it every fucking time. That was the coolest cat ever.
Dude, that bit Dave Chappelle did about his dog and the fucking weed and shit and the eating of food and all, he's trained. My dog does that same fucking shit. He knows when I smoke weed, it's not going to be too long before I go and snack something. And he's right there waiting. He's like, hey, is it time to fucking eat? You doing this? He's like, yep. But he hates weed. He won't be in the same room with me when I smoke.
Ooh, fuck.
My dog is a fucking square. Fucking baby bitch.
Okay. This is actually a crazy question, man, because we're mostly just having fun right now. We're not going to be getting too serious, but Brian asked a good question. Are there any comics out there that you've read that are at least visually, if not reading, better while high?
Brian, that is an excellent question that you asked. And you know what I like to read when I'm high? Fucking nothing. I don't read shit because I'm high as fuck. You know how hard it is to do anything when you're high as fuck, Chuck? Chuck, this right here, talking to you, is about the only thing I can do when I'm high. I try to play a video game when I'm high, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
I try to watch Netflix when I'm high, and I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to see this show. Nope, not going to happen. I try to jerk off when I'm high. Chuck works every fucking time.
So for me, very similar. In fact, I'll play a game and I might make it 45 minutes and I'm like, nope, I suck, I'm done. TV shows, the only thing I can watch on TV is something I've seen 1,000 times, and it's got to be comedy based. So
Yes.
it's gotta be something like fucking like Family Guy or Rick and Morty or some shit like that where I can just sit down. And actually, Rick and Morty's too smart, so I'd
Yeah.
have to think of
Rick and
something
Morty will
like
pull you in. Rick and
old
Morty.
school Simpsons. But I will say, actually, for comics and reading, if you can read, for me, old school Calvin and Hobbes, dude, because it's quick little jumps. You get the 3 panels. It's fucking funny. You can move on, so it's not too much for you, and that shit's funny and it's smart. And dude, just a second, let's do this. That's fucking awesome, dude. I didn't even know that. I swear I didn't know that.
It will all make sense when we grow up. Guess what, motherfucker? It still don't make sense.
It don't make
None
sense.
of this shit makes sense. And they was telling us at the beginning, they was lying to us in the pages of Calvin and Hobbes. They're like, hey, we're gonna lie to you, but it's for your own fucking good. This shit'll never make sense.
Dude, okay, this is smart. So Sarah says blow it into a dog's ear and it gets them high. And actually, that's true. Because dogs, so here's the thing, and this is a really cool story. So my dog, about every month or so, he has seizures. And these seizures can last like 4 hours. They're rough.
Right.
So, poor guy, we're trying to hug him and hold him. And actually, hugging him and cuddling with him, it helps a little bit.
Okay.
Just because he can feel that. But if you're not going to be around him, it's like, what the fuck do I do, right? So, cops just drove by. So, what I would do is I would try, someone was like, marijuana. Can you get your hands on some marijuana? I was like, yeah, I should be fine, thanks. And they're like, yeah, well, smoke some marijuana, blow it into them. So I tried blowing it into their mouth. He won't breathe.
Yeah.
He's not interested in the smoke. So I was like, that ain't working. And they said, dogs also have a small hole in their ear that they breathe through. So I'll basically inhale and then I'll cup his ear and I'll blow directly into his ear. And dude, it has worked. Not amazingly, but it does calm it down. But now it's at the point where I'm like, dude, you're having seizures at times where I don't want to get high, where I can't afford to get high. So I'm just gonna hug you through it.
Chuck, I don't know if you realized what you've just done, but
what did I just done?
Somewhere out there on the internet, someone is going to see this video and be like, hey, somebody blow some weed in my ear.
Dude, go ahead.
No, because right now, guess what, Chuck? I'm looking at this video on the internet and I'm like, somebody blow some weed in my fucking ear. I want to see if this shit works. It's like the cocaine up your butthole. I've talked to people. They're like, yeah, dude, you fucking feel it. You fucking work. But how you gonna fucking know a motherfucker good enough where you're like, hey, can you blow some cocaine up my butthole? Like, it's a very weird ask.
Yeah. That's, you gotta have that's some ride or die shit right there. You're not just getting any old friend to blow coke up your ass.
Oh no, but if you have a friend, Alexa, stop.
Raven.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, don't do this. Not while we're on TV. She's jealous of Skynet. She's jealous of YouTube. She's trying to fucking interfere. Anyway,
she is Skynet.
But dude, I guess if you're a person who happens to do a lot of cocaine and you happen to be hanging out with somebody who also does a lot of cocaine and you both happen to be naked at the same time in the same place, maybe it's not as awkward to be like, hey, by the way, I've always wanted to have some cocaine blown up in my butthole. You up for that? I don't know.
You want to try something new?
I've never done that because I cannot imagine the horror that is my butthole. Like there was a day and a time where I would have taken a picture of it in case just to see what the shit looked like. I would not attempt that shit right now, Chuck. Chuck, do you have any concept of what your butthole looks like at this point in your life?
I don't want any concept. No. And being a big dude, it's hard to clean that the way you need to, man. Like, I would need a really long fucking toothbrush and get right the fuck in there. Nah.
Hey, guys, no one talks about this, but I'm going to say it out loud. You know, when you get really, really fucking fat, sometimes we can't even wipe our ass properly. We have to stand up to properly wipe my ass. Oh my God. You know how good it felt to not have to stand up to wipe my ass properly? That was the greatest fucking feeling in the world. Oh my God. And then I saw my dick and I was like, oh.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see my dick again, actually. I'm excited for that.
It's what
I was so, and here's the thing, because now I'm fatter than you. So as the chunkier dude, I've loved watching you lose weight. And so when you broke under 300, I was like, oh, good for you, dude. That's fucking phenomenal. And when you talked about seeing your dick, I'm like, most people think this is purely comedy, but it ain't, man. Like, as a fellow fat dude, I'm like, no. This is a big fucking deal for him. Like, this is awesome.
Dude, and my friends give me shit because I'm like, I keep on making this joke about my dick was not this big. My dick is getting, and they're like, oh, you're losing weight. There's less fat around it. That's why it's looking bigger. And I'm like, no, I realize that I'm on low. I've always had low testosterone growing up. Like, I never had a single hair on my chest at all. This is like 40 years worth of growth. And I started like testosterone, and all of a sudden, like, dude, the shit's gotten bigger. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And then all of a sudden, I looked down like 2-3 weeks ago, Chuck, and dude, it was like the angels. It was like that scene in the Avengers where Hawkeye, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Because I saw it and I was like, oh my God, it's my dick. She came back. She came back. She left 10 years ago. She didn't leave. She didn't give a 2-week notice. No Dear John letter. That motherfucker just up and left. And she came back.
She left for smokes and just, that was it.
Oh my God.
Like a daddy. Music is the way to go. Reading is too hard. Yes, that's so true,
yes,
actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. I don't care what your drug of choice. Music accentuates fucking everything. Music makes you believe in God and shit. Like that. Yeah.
You know what? For the longest time, I was having a hard time writing. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on that I can't write? And then I sat at my computer one day and Pandora was up, turned it on, and it started flowing. And I was like, motherfucker, you haven't even tried to listen. I was in such depression that I didn't even try to listen to music. Yeah. And that just allowed the depression to keep going, which kept me away from writing, which just made it worse. So, yeah, I mean, music, it always brings me back again.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, dude, because like I don't know if you know this, but that Cthulhu intro I wrote for that book.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had written anything in like 8 months. Like oh my God, God, I'm spacing on the name right now because I'm high. But I have a story I was supposed to do. It's been like 8 months overdue. I've blown this deadline out the window. The guy's fucking awesome though. It's for OMG. I can't remember his name now. I'm fucking high. Anyway, but yeah, that intro I wrote for you was like the first fucking time I had written within that 8-month span. And then finally, I was talking to Pat Shannon. I was telling him like I legitimately was thinking about retiring from comics, like just doing comedy because the love for the writing wasn't there. I used to, when I wrote, everything I wrote was from some pain. It was like a therapy. It was dealing with issues and just throwing it into a story. And then I was like, it just burns you. It like eats you up inside to be passionate and tell a good story. I can't like fake shit. And I was talking to Pat Shan about it. I'm just like, yeah, man, the love's not there anymore. And then I got to do this Wonderland story for Zenoscope that Dave Franchini and David Wall pitched this idea, like a plot that they said was perfect for me. And I read it, and it had to deal with like mental illness and like regret and all these things that just kind of coincide with where I am in my life and this character that I've been writing for 20 years. And it's like, I mean, not 20, like 10 years, 15 years, whatever. And it's like, boom, the love came back. And I was like, oh man, I forgot. There's all this little shit we did back when we first started that we did because we just loved it. It wasn't this is going to get made. It wasn't this is going to be published. It was I love this so much. I'm going to write a Daredevil story because it makes me happy. I don't know if I ever get paid for this, but I'm going to write this. There's something tapping into that purity of the creative process that we forget as we grind and it's so weird, man.
Dude, that's beautiful, man. And it's so true too. And finding that again, because it's so stupid how simple it is. Like sometimes when they say just right, you're like, that's fucking difficult. But then when you sit down and you do it, you're like, no, I made it difficult. It was never difficult to write. It was me. I was the fucking problem.
Hey, here, let me fix the internet for all you neo writers out there who think you have writer's block. You know that stupid shit people say, hey, have you ever thought of taking a long drive with no phone? Have you ever thought of going for a walk, a long, long walk with no phone? Oh, trust me, you'll come up with some shit if you don't have something to write down. There you go. Your writer's block is no longer an excuse.
Your writer's block is distractions. Your writer's block is you getting in the way of yourself. It's all that shit.
Block is the excuse. That's all the writer's block is. I'm tired. That's your excuse. I can't think of anything. That's the excuse. I'd rather do something else. That's the excuse. That's what writer's block is. It's the excuse. That's deep as fuck. Oh my God. I think we broke the matrix.
We just did.
And we didn't say fuck for the first 5 minutes. That's the big one, man.
Dude. Congratulations, by the way. That was tough. That was tough. My best friend's husband philosophizes the Bible on cocaine. Wow. Dude. The shit you guys got going on.
Put that back up on the screen. I want to read that shit.
My best friend's husband philosophizes the Bible on cocaine. Bwahaha. I mess with him on the occasions he does that. Speaking of buttholes, what about the people who bleach theirs?
Hey, I don't know, but when I meet one, oh my God, I'm gonna be so grateful. I'm gonna talk about that shit.
You know what? So here's something, because you're a comedian, and by the way, I've loved comedy my whole life. I used to work in comedy clubs doing improv. So, and I just never quite got the balls to sit and write out. But I've gotten little bits here and there and whatnot. I just didn't do anything with them. But I have a mad love for comedy, and someone I think you would enjoy. Have you checked out Neil Brennan?
Holy shit! I did not know comedy could make you cry.
Dude.
I cried at the end of it.
Which one?
The new one he just put out.
Blocks?
Yes. Holy shit. I've never seen this is one of the things I love about comedy so much. I don't care if somebody's a good comedian, a bad comedian. There are so many different flavors out there. And every time you see a new comedian that you've never seen before, you get a taste of a new personality and a new perspective. And that Neil Brennan shit, that grabbed my fucking soul, dude.
Yeah.
When he's talking about being depressed his whole life and the feelings he fucking has and how he's like fought to fucking overcome that shit, that's like, I was crying at the end of that thing.
Go back, and he also has one called Three Mics.
Oh, I've watched all of them.
Oh, yeah, Three Mics is fucking brilliant. So, but in that one, there was something that I love that he said. And he said, I'm sure you remember this. He goes, so I am agnostic. Somebody asked me, and at first I wanted to say that I was an atheist, but no, I decided, no, agnostic is more when I'm down. But he said, I realized something. I have so many black friends, and I've never met a black person who's atheist. Like, they're all spiritual on some level. So, like, I realized that atheism is basically just white privilege. Like, it's just a bunch of white people who are, someone comes up to them and they go, hey, do you want to check out our afterlife? And they go, no, I'm good. It's pretty great here, wouldn't you say? Like, I don't need an afterlife after this. It's like that's some white privilege shit right there.
Oh my god!
And I was like, it's fucking true. It's so fucking true.
It's so fucking true. I've never met a black atheist. Oh my
Right.
god, that is awesome as fuck.
I mean, how do you even get there? But the fact that he did and he put all that shit together, like that's the work of comedy. He found that one little thing. I don't know any black people who are atheists, and took it all the way through to white privilege, motherfucker. And that was hilarious to me. I was like, that's comedy. Like that's the brilliance of what comedians do. They find this one little abnormality and they flush it out into something that into like 5-6 minutes. You know, like
yeah, it's an amazing fucking art form. It's
oh yeah.
And there's so many different styles of it. There's the comedy you see on TV that's obviously rehearsed. There's improv comedy, which is weird as fuck, but also enjoyable in its own way. Like everybody likes a different flavor of ice cream. There's so many flavors of this thing called comedy. It's wild.
Yeah.
Podcast comedy, fucking
well, there's clean, there's dark, I mean, and then even just, you know, white comedy, black comedy, gay. I mean, there's just so much great. I saw
comedy, fucking musical comedy. I've seen music comedians. Ty, God, I forget her last name. She's a local comedian here in Arizona. She plays the guitar and she sings these songs, and she's freaking hilarious as shit, man. It's amazing. You ever see those
comedy
piano duo people?
Oh yeah,
that shit. It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah. You got prop comics. You got fucking ventriloquists. All the kind. Yeah, dude. There's so many different. You'll find something that you'll like a rabbit hole that you'll fall down. Because there's always shit going on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Wendy says, I've said it before, but congrats on your accomplishments. So glad to see you back on Xenoscope as well. So excited.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's been a journey, because I don't know if everybody out there is aware, but as an alcoholic who's now 10 months sober, as somebody who's been on
by the way
meds nearly his whole fucking life and is now officially off them, my brain has done some fucked up shit. And like when your wife dies and your girlfriend dies, you go down some dark fucking pathways of your soul to fucking figure out ways to get to the other side. So the fact that they still will fuck with me after as many deadlines as I've blown, I appreciate the shit out those motherfuckers.
Now, you said wife and girlfriend. Is that two separate people?
Well, I call my wife my wife. We were divorced when she died, but I've always called her my wife. The year before my wife died, a year, 5 days before my wife died, the girl I was seeing, died driving drunk. And then a year, 2 days later was when my wife was killed in a hit and run. So,
dude,
dude, I fucking became my own worst enemy, and fucking I was making very good money, fucking just writing comics and like having royalties come in, and I was allowed to become an alcoholic because I didn't have to fucking work. And I made a lot of fucking mistakes, but I mean,
who the fuck could blame you, dude? That's rough. Like,
yeah, it's just cool that, especially particular people who like when you're young, you're much more judgmental about specific people and the things they go through in life, like homeless people. When you get older, you start seeing, especially as people become much more aware of like mental health in the world today, like how serious that shit is. Hey, did you hear that quote Neil Brennan said about gun statistics, gun violence?
I'm sure I did, but
in blocks where he's talking about, so the gun rate of like deaths in America is like 60,000 a year. Did you know 1/3 of that is from suicides?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this is real shit that fucking goes on. But it was cool that the people at Zenoscope are understanding enough that they were like, yeah, you know what? You've gone through some shit. You've obviously made efforts to get your shit together. You've shown that you can do things. And like that faith, that I appreciate that more than being able to tell a story that was perfect for me. Because you don't get a lot of second chances in this life. Most people fucking drop you, and they drop you.
And they drop you hard, yeah.
They drop you fucking hard. I drop people. Dude, nowadays, Chuck, I have my inner circle of friends, but I'm constantly trying to add to it. But let somebody do something wrong one time, and I'm like, I sit there and I analyze every aspect of that person's personality, and I'm like, nope, I can still be okay with you as a person, but you are not in my life anymore.
Yeah. So, no, dude, I feel you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why I mean, second chances are hard to come by in this world, and I'm like grateful for all of mine.
Yeah. Paul Gomez says, "Is this a holiday special? This isn't Chuck's night." It's true, but you know what? When Raven motherfucking Gregory comes to you and says, "I miss you. We got to do something." How the fuck do you say no to that? How the fuck and that's the beauty of being emotionally available with the people that you care about. When someone says, "Man, I fucking miss you. Let's do something." How the fuck am I gonna say no to that? Like, for all intents and purposes, I should not be doing this. Like, I have too much shit to be doing. But in all honesty, that spoke to me. I was just like, yeah, I deserve to fucking chill out with a friend and have fun.
Thank you.
So let's fucking do it. Yeah, no.
Dude, I'm like, every time you said, you're like, how can I say no to I miss you? I was instantly in my head thinking, my God, I wish Chuck was pussy. I wish I could just be like, oh, I miss you, pussy. Just the random pussy. I just call a girl like, I miss you. And Chuck's like, how can I say no to that? Instant pussy.
Okay, no, but if you let me wear a blindfold, you can titty fuck the shit out of me. Just let me wear a blindfold, okay? I just don't want to see the dick, but you can do whatever you gotta do, man. I got you. Just don't finish on my face, like move away or something. You know what I mean? Pull out.
Hey, and public service announcement, Chuck. I know you'll appreciate this. Ladies, men like their titties sucked on as much as you like your titty sucked on. Suck on my titty. Goddamn. Chuck, dude, this girl, I finally had sex, by the way. This girl.
Dude, by the way, that's a big deal, folks. That's awesome.
Anyway, dude, fucking after I was done, this girl was like, man, you know what? I remember the first time I saw you when I knew I wanted to sleep with you. And she was like, you were doing karaoke and you were drunk and you showed me your nipple and you played with it. And I was like, what the fuck? That shit works? I'm showing my nipples to everybody from now on. I'm not going to drink. But I'm going to show my titties to everyone. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I was like, how you going to tell me that you saw my titty and that's what made you decide that you wanted to sleep with me, but you ain't suck on them titties at all? Come on, motherfucker. I was sucking on them titties like a pro.
Rave, though, you're right. Like, that shit works. So here's my story that coincides with that one. I'm married, so can't be fucking around, but I was out with some friends. We're at a friend's house. She's having a pool party. She's got all these people over. It's a mixed crowd, and so it's me and a buddy and then a bunch of people we don't know. So I'm hanging out in the pool, and everybody in there is women except for my dude. And he's like, man, how do we get them to take their tops off? And I was like, that's not going to happen, but, good luck. And then one of the women on the side was a lesbian, and she out loud at the same time goes, how do we get you bitches to take your tops off? And I was like, all right, I love that. And the girls are all like, no. And then one of them finally says, you know what? I'm just waiting for the first girl to take her top off, and then I'll do it. And the other girls are like, yeah. And so I turned to the lesbian, and I was like, look, you're going to have to take one for the team. If you want to see titties tonight, you got to take your top off. And she's like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm like, you can't be greedy, girl. You can't be greedy. You can't hide those things and then ask everyone else to do it. I was like, this is how a real motherfucker does it. I pulled off my shirt, and I was like, check those titties out, bitches. Dude, all the tops came off immediately. Soon as I showed my tits, everyone, except for the lesbian, greedy bitch, everyone took their tops off. And I was like, that's it right there. That's how it happens. One person has to be the first. And I did it, and it worked. And my dude turns to me, he's like, you got to come to more parties with me, man.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that shit is, yes, I'm gonna find the funny in everything in life, and that is fucking hilarious. But when I was writing the Wonderland script, I started hanging out with WWWs.
Okay. I don't know what WWWs are.
White women in the wild.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, Chuck, it's interesting. Holy shit. There's some shit going on. Dude, but the whole entire point of that is, man, dude, women are terrified. Like, they're literally terrified.
Guys suck.
All the fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
Look at this. Keep this in mind. You and me, Chuck, at any time could walk down the street at night, predominantly in a good neighborhood, with our headphones on. Like, we could walk with our headphones on. They can't. They literally, that kind of terror baked in. So, like, to get women to feel comfortable enough to do that is just a thing in this world. It's so weird. But like,
safe space, yeah.
My daughter just became a woman.
I heard. Congrats.
And I realized that my 16-year-old, I don't remember any of this shit happening. And my daughter keeps on telling me about particular things that are happening. And I'm like, holy shit, being sober is suck, because Jesus Christ, being a woman is fucking terrifying and awful. My body works. It does not fuck up once a month randomly like a ticking time bomb. And you know the bomb's gonna fucking go off and you can't fucking stop it. It's like tick, 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 tick. And it's a different bomb every fucking time. Tick, 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 tick. We were working out, and Chuck, she looked at me and she was like, Dad, we gotta go. I don't know if you know the connotations of what that phrase means when all of a sudden your daughter becomes a woman, but it becomes, oh my God, this is gross. What the fuck? Ah, shit. Oh God, I gotta go be a parent.
Yep. No, I feel you, man.
I didn't know. Like, dude, I am getting a taste of the struggle that's being a woman. It's still not hard than being a black guy, so fuck you.
Andy says, what kind of, and this is my dad, says, what kind of show is this? I thought it was about comic books and graphic novels, not cocaine and buttholes. Not tonight, any fucking thing goes. It's about all that shit and more.
I say, these motherfuckers don't know. We go hard in the paint, Chuck.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you know how you get girls to show their titties? Just get the fat guy to show his titties. They like, oh man, those titties are just the same as mine. We're all the same people.
I knew it would work too. I knew it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I complete confidence. I was like, oh no, this is happening.
Women, remember, we are all women. We just ones that have dicks. That's it. That's why we have nipples. That's literally why we have nipples, because we all start off as bitches.
Yep. No, it's true. Wendy says, I can't remember the last time I wrote something. Hasn't been a long time, but longer than it has been a long time. Been trying to get the script done for Top Cow, but just not happening. You got this, babe.
Long drive.
God damn it, you piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, so this is everyone talking about the... yeah, now they're all... My first husband nared his balls. Got a chemical burn from it, idiot. Yeah, ain't nobody... Dude, that's what... Shave it or get someone else to shave. Naring your balls.
You know, it's funny. I remember... years ago, before I was much less cognitive of the words that came out of my mouth, I was messing with a girl and I told her, hey, before I come over, make sure you shave. And she was like, did you shave? And I was like, no. Well, don't you expect, like, if I'm going down on you, wouldn't you have the same consideration? And I'm like, wow, I am an inconsiderate motherfucker. I should really, like, trim my shit. But I don't.
That's the nice thing about, that's the nice thing about being fat. You can't.
There it is. There it is. I just now start seeing my dick. You got to give me time.
You're right. Right? Look, man.
It's dangerous. I don't know how women be shaving that shit. They can't see where they fucking shaving and shit. And they like doing magical fucking like tricks with their foot, putting it up on the shower wall and shit. I'm like, damn, you really trying to do this shit.
Right?
Like an Olympic sport. Y'all shaving pussy. Fucking I appreciate you. Here's to the ladies that do that shit. We appreciate you. Fuck yeah. You shave that pussy. You shave the fuck out of it. I'll eat it.
Titty Forrest popped out. That's great. See, I'm trying to catch up. You guys have said tons of shit, by the way. Lots of great stuff.
Look, I can't even read none of them because every time I read one, all of a sudden I think it's Steven Seagal behind me with his fucking dick out because that motherfucker put it in my head. I ain't falling for that shit no more. Wow.
Oh, fuck. Now, okay, so there was a couple things you want to talk about. We've been on for 50 minutes. We talked about comedy. We talked about mental health. We talked about not swearing. We talked about comics a little bit. You wanted to talk about David Frank.
Yeah. So, dude, I was thinking this. I want to say this because I think that there is this weird fucking attitude that it's not normal to change your mind about shit. It's like you have a viewpoint on things and you just like you get stuck in that viewpoint and people are like, well, that's your viewpoint now. You can't go outside that viewpoint. So earlier today, I see a bunch of people posting about Jason David Frank. He committed suicide, Green Power Ranger, martial artist, amazing, cool guy. They tried to come after him in Phoenix, and he survived that shit because of a porn star. You ever hear that story?
No.
Somebody killed Jason David Frank in fucking Phoenix at a Comic-Con, and because the guy who was psychotic in his fucking head was talking to a porn star, telling a porn star about his fucking plans, the porn star informed the authorities and saved Jason David Frank from the guy with the shotgun. Little did he know that he didn't have to wait that many years for it to happen anyway.
Oh, rough.
It's it, but it's fucking true. It did happen. I'm not making fun of it. It's fucking funny, but it's the fucking truth, man. Anyway, but yeah, so here was my thing that fucked with me. Here was the change what I was talking about. I see a bunch of people posting about this, and I've had a lot of people die in my life recently, like multiple, like death. I don't know where the light switch flicked, but all of a sudden, death is a very real part of life. It's no longer 5-10 years. Somebody's dying on a regular basis who you know in some way or form. And I see people expressing this grief for these celebrities and shit. And I'm sitting there, it's like, I just can't find myself caring because I've lost people that I fucking know. And people are talking about these people affect people in such ways. And all of a sudden, my mind throughout the day has shifted toward the fact that a lot of these fucking people inspire and give us reasons to fucking go on and exist because this life is not fucking easy. And the difficulty level, they keep raising that motherfucker up, Chuck.
Yeah.
When they gonna turn when is whoever's playing our video game, Chuck, when is the motherfucker that's in control of your control stick right now gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna put it on easy for a little bit.
I could fucking use that, man. I could fucking use that. Use the money code or some shit, like something, man.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, motherfucker. That's what I'm saying, man.
No, it's true, dude. You know what? For me, the moment I became, because when I was young, I wanted to do stand up. Mm-hmm. I started writing some shit, putting it together, and the moment where I started to move away from comedy and go, I don't know, man. It was when Farley died. I'm a huge Chris Farley fan, and I thought, dude, you're too similar to him in as far as the kind of shit he did, and knowing that if I went out into that world, I probably would end up enjoying all of it because there's a certain level of the world that is trapped away from you when you're a fat kid and when you're a fat guy. There's a certain, but when you suddenly become a celebrity and you're funny, especially when you're funny, because people fucking love the funny guy. When you're the funny dude and you're making everybody laugh, suddenly you get all of it. You get food, you get drugs, you get alcohol, you get pussy, you get all of it, and you basically get it handed to you. And you're like, this is that world that everybody else was already playing in, and I'm getting there now, and I'm gonna take all of it. And I knew in my heart of hearts, if I really fucking went into it, that's where I was heading.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't talk about it. I mean, they do talk about it, but people don't get it. It takes a particular mental discipline and mindset to be in these creative fields, because I am not famous, Chuck. I am not famous at all. And let me tell you, there is a lot of cocaine out there. Not that I've ever done it, but there is a lot of cocaine, and it is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it gets offered to you all the fucking time. I would never do that. But
I actually have never done it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've actually, no winks. The closest I did was someone, and this was probably about 5-6 years ago, someone at a party, they're like, you got to try this shit. I can't believe you're almost 40. You've never tried it. And I was like, nah, man, I haven't. They're like, no, you got to do it. And I was like, here's the closest I'm going to get. Why do they rub it on their gums?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they rub it on their gums because you can feel it, but you don't really get high. I was like, I'll rub it on my gums if you let me.
Yeah.
So I did that. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I can feel the tingling, and I can feel like, oh shit, if that's all I'm getting just from rubbing it on my skin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't want this in me. And I especially don't want to fucking snort it. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, years and years ago, like 20 years ago, I had dabbled in it a little bit. And I've never been a fan of any drugs besides weed. And then weed went bad for me. And I never have gotten into any real drugs. Like, I had a meth phase for a while that was fucking horrible. Fuck meth.
A meth phase? Really?
That's when I wrote Fly. I wrote Fly when my wife was addicted to meth. I was not addicted to meth, but it was fucking in my lifestyle. And that shit is the most demonic fucking drug on the planet. But like 20 years ago, I had like played with blow and shit. And I never fucking liked it. I never saw what the fucking big deal is. And I would never do it again. But I know that basically the way it feels when it's good, which I would never do again, so I have no idea of knowing how it's good. But it's just like the moment before you get on stage to do stand-up. That is literally the feeling. It is the feeling of when you get a really good workout in and you feel that rush. That is what cocaine under the right circumstances fucking feels like in an accentuated conversation between two people. And that conversation is amazing. All the other shit is garbage.
Yeah.
All the other shit is like, it leads to addiction and all that stuff. But it's just like we were talking about weed, talking about like alcohol, different things. There's way to use particular things that don't become an addictive. They add to your life in a fashion, but you just can't let fucking shit get out of hand.
Yeah.
People by nature will let shit get out of hand because we do not know what the fuck we are doing. So I feel the Chris Farley thing. I have a lot of fear where I said, I have to make sure I'm comfortable going to all these stand-up clubs because if I ever go touring, I'm going to be alone on the road and I'm an alcoholic. So I'm like, I gotta like gameplay all of this shit ahead of time in case this works out and becomes successful.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? Where you gotta think ahead and go, how the fuck am I gonna make this shit work?
Yeah.
With all this.
I have done all the drugs. Yeah. I've done them all. And they are amazing. DMT. Holy shit. You ever give DMT to an atheist? He will not be an atheist anymore. I don't know if he'll still be white, but he'll probably still be white. Oh my God. He actually said atheism is white privilege.
Yeah, that was in Blocks, man. That was watch that shit again. He said it was brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. It's white privilege. I laughed my balls off because it was so dead on. So dead on, man.
Oh, I love you, Chuck. I love you so much.
It was so dead on. And I'm so glad that you watched that shit too, because I knew when I watched that, I was watching that, I was like, this is Raven's shit. Like, Raven would fucking love this. Do you remember he had another good story? I loved a story where he was talking about being the head of Netflix. He was at the house of the head of Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that story?
And he kept saying, he's an exceptional man. He's a great man.
He's an amazing man. He's an exceptional man. And he's there with and he says, I'm there with all my comedy heroes. Chris Rock's there. Fucking Jerry Seinfeld. All these people are there. All around, Chappelle's there. Everybody, he's like, I'm so fucking excited. Everybody, like, up and down. And he goes, we're there. And this guy decides he's going to give a speech. And he starts talking to everyone. And he says, man, I'm just so blessed and excited to be around all of my comedy heroes. And then Chris Rock fucking yells out, yeah, and Neil Brennan.
Kevin Hart. It was Kevin Hart.
Oh, was it Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart, okay.
Kevin Hart is like, and Neil Brennan. And Neil was like,
no, it was Chris Rock. And that's why, because right afterwards, he goes, oh man, I gotta tell you, man, Chris Rock got me so bad there. He's like, I wonder if he knows what it's like. I wonder if he knows how it feels to be made fun of in front of all your peers. And then he kind of gives you that wink because you're like, fucking Oscars, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just got the joke. It took that long for me to fucking get the joke.
Yeah, the Oscars, man.
The embarrassed in front of his peers. Oh my god, that's brilliant. Oh my god.
Oh, he's a savage motherfucker.
Jesus Christ.
He's a savage fucker. Yeah, man.
Oh my god, that is great.
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah, the moral of that story, back to Jason David Frank, is holy shit. I get it now.
Wow.
And it's like, and I just sat there and I'm like, it's so weird that we live in a society where we can't change our mind and it be socially acceptable.
And I totally feel that with you, because I tell people all the time, my pursuit in life is to be right, but not the way the internet is right. The internet is right by getting a bunch of people to fucking agree with them. No. Fuck that shit. I want to be actually right. I want to go through life, experience the shit, and then go, oh, by learning all this stuff, this is right. This is the thing. So yeah, man, I've completely changed my mind on tons of stuff. And you know what? Having kids will do that to you too, man. Yeah. I have 2 kids who are trans, kids who are gay, and I was never like transphobic or homophobic, but there was certainly like ignorant shit that I believed and said and did that has now changed. And you're like, yeah, okay. Like if someone were to come to me now from high school who was gay and I hadn't known that, and they were like, you were a dick, I'd be like, you know what, man? Looking back, I actually was, and I didn't realize it, and I'm really apologetic, man. That's not cool. It wasn't hateful. It was fucking ignorant. Right. But let's remove that shit.
Right, but after you would say that, would you be like, so did you still want to fuck?
I mean,
man, some people like being made fun of. That shit turns them on. I've seen the internet. It's a fucking thing, dude.
It's a thing, man. It's a thing.
All motherfuckers want to be made fun of.
I feel like my wife would be okay if I fucked a dude. I feel like she'd be like, you know what?
Okay, I got to ask you this.
She wouldn't feel jealous.
Chuck, I want you to fully experience what it feels like to be this person that I am right now. Now, I, as a person, have to be very understanding of people's choices in life because, hey, I'm a person too, and I make weird decisions all the fucking time. So, if you've ever had sex with a porn star, which recently I got to, I'm sitting there saying to myself, should I look at her fucking OnlyFans page? Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, do I want to see if I did a good job? Do I want to see if like like maybe I'm like, dude, how come I didn't get that shit? That shit looks really good. Why did I get the weak ass shit? Like it wasn't weak, but I'm just saying, like, what if somebody's like really hitting it good and I'm like, dude, I can't compete with that shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What if it's like a big fucking dick? But then all of a sudden it turned to me and I was like, well, this is what she does. I'm doing comedy and shit. This is what I fucking do. People got to be accepting of other people's lifestyles. And in my head, I just thought to myself, hey, Chuck, if your wife had a sex tape with somebody else, would you ever watch that shit?
Fuck.
See what I mean? Apply that to like everybody out there in the world. Whoever your partner is, imagine if your partner had a sex tape with somebody else. Like you should be secure enough in who you are in your relationship and whatnot. But do you really want to see that? What if it's bad? What if it's good?
It's funny because earlier in my relationship, I felt like, you know what? I could be okay with having sex with other people and still coming home to my wife every night and us, being cool. But then when I thought about it, I was like, but wait, if she did that, I'm not mature enough to handle it.
There you go.
So just because I can handle it one way does not mean I can handle it the other, which means that shit's off the table. Because it's got to go both ways, or else you're just a fucking greedy motherfucker.
Exactly.
You're like the lesbian who wouldn't show her tits.
Exactly. I mean,
and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. The other thing is just like, I mean, guys, I don't know. I'm just going to assume this is fucking true. Guys like porn stars who look like people they've actually fucked in life. So it's like, sometimes you be rubbing one out to somebody that looks familiar that's your particular type because that's what fucking gets you there. So it's like, would you watch your spouse getting plowed by somebody else and jerk some off? Because some guys are okay with it. Some guys like to see their girls fucked by other guys. Cucking is actually a fucking thing.
It's a big thing.
I'm accepting of all these lifestyles, but inside, I'm too much of a bitch to look, Chuck. That was I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. 1,000%. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yep.
And she's cool as fuck. I don't want to like sit there in my head and be hanging out with her and just want to bust jokes on shit all the time. Like, oh, that motherfucker was weak. Oh, that nigga wasn't hitting it right. Oh my god. If you put my dick in that video, you get more views. I'm famous, man.
Internet people, yes, roast me, senpai. Chucky knows how to handle it. I do know how to handle it. Thank you. What's up, Russell? Good to see you, motherfucker.
What's up, people?
All sorts of flavors of muffins around. It's true. It's not just blueberry.
Hey, Chuck, speaking of porn, you want to hear some crazy ass shit?
I mean, you had me at porn. Go ahead.
All right. So, dude, I just went through a 3-year dry spell. I had not been laid in 3 fucking years. And I was dating, Chuck. And all of a sudden, I started, like, the first girl I dated or was talking to, like, all of a sudden, I realized that I am very attracted to intellect, to conversation. What's that? It's a sexual preference type where you're
a romantic
interested in like a person for who they are. What's that sexual?
Yeah, I know what it is, but I don't know the name.
Is it asexual, pansexual, where you care about what a woman says?
Well, I mean, asexual means that you're not worried about sex. You're worried about the personality and whatnot.
No, but the one where you care about what a woman actually says. Oh, yay. That's it. So, yeah, I'm dating this. I'm talking to this fucking girl, and I'm like, damn. I'm trying to say something really smart to her because I want her to want me for my mind as well as my dick. And I'm telling her, I'm like, dude, girl, man, there is no present, there is no past, there is no future. All we have is like right now. Like every second, it's just like the future. Everything's moving and shit, and there is nothing. It's just like all we are, just like these little memories. And she looks at me dead in the fucking face, and she's like, man, what's the difference between now, right now, this moment with you and me, and a memory? And I'm just like, whoa, holy shit. And it made me realize, I'm like, man, fuck smart bitches. I was here for the pussy, not for the existential crisis. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, you came for the pussy, but that's all extra. That's the sugar on top.
Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing different between, like, we think of memories as these moments that are big in our heads that happen. but literally everything we're doing is a memory.
I would actually say, though, there is a difference, and here's my theory on this. The difference between now, what you and I are doing now, and a memory is that my memories become clouded. I will not remember this with the clarity of the moment right now. My brain is gonna filter it, it's gonna change it, the story will change, all that kind of shit. That's the difference. And that, that's why I think so many people, I was thinking about this today because I have some friends who run a music podcast. And my thought was, I'm getting pissed off at concerts. When people are at concerts, if you look out on the sea of people, most of them have cameras up and they got their phones up and they're all recording it. And I'm like, I get that you guys are trying to create this for posterity later, but what you're not understanding is you're not enjoying now. You're not fucking, like, those motherfuckers are right there. They're spitting on you. They're fucking, there's this amazing moment. And you're like, later on, this is going to look good. It looks good now. It fucking looks good now.
Dude, I try whenever I'm out in public, never to fucking pick up my phone. Because the second I pick up my phone, even if it's to take a picture,
you're in there.
I go into that fucking world. And never once in my fucking life, Chuck, have I been like, oh my God, you know what I was really glad I was doing? That I was on the internet. Besides this right here. Never have I been in public and been like, oh, I'm so glad I was on the phone playing this app or fucking on Facebook or fucking blah, 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 blah. Never like that. You've
been hanging out with your friends and being like, we could do this on Facebook. I know.
But you know what I do fucking do? What I'll do is when I'm out in public with my friends, like my nearest and dearest motherfuckers, if I can capture a moment of pure bliss, like, you know how when people take a picture, it's a posed picture. If you ever see somebody captured in the moment of laughing or somebody who's just really happy, I have a friend who really is in love with this guy and they just can't be together for whatever reason. And she's at a bar and she's just holding him. And there's such peace on her fucking face. I quickly just took some pictures with her not noticing, because those moments, like, we know when they happen, but they're so elusive to capture.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't pick up my phone for shit.
No, I feel you, dude.
Yeah.
I have this picture on my phone. I've never shared it. And it's my youngest daughter, 13. She had fallen asleep with her headphones on, and she was cuddling up with the dog. And she's completely, beautifully serene. And I'm like, she lives this life of depression and dealing with all this bullshit and just anxiety and having it. And then in this moment, she just got to be just quiet and happy and peaceful. Yeah. And so I showed her that picture and she was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, no, don't be, because it'll never get shared out.
Yeah.
This is for us.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful moment for us to be able to look at and go, you were truly peaceful.
Yeah. I have a picture of Nihai. Nihai is my best fucking friend in the world.
Yeah.
And I saw her. She's basically saved my life so many times, like recovering from all this shit. She took care of me, like really took care of me one weekend. And at the end of the weekend, I had to fly back. And as I was leaving, I turned and I looked back and I saw her sleeping so fucking peacefully. And there's something about, like, we know how hard life is, man.
Yeah.
And we never get to see what we look like when we're at peace. Like, not resting sleep or not, but just like that kind of happy. You never fucking see it because you're asleep.
I'm jealous of what you guys have. Because you see it on the internet. If anyone's paying attention, the relationship you guys have is beautiful. But I'm gonna tell you something funny about Nihai, and that is, I don't think she fucking likes me. And here's why. And I'm not even mad, because I actually get it. Because you'll say something, I'll come at you and roast you a little bit, and then she comes in protective, and I'm like, No.
She do that to fucking everybody, dude.
I'm like, no, this is a relationship. Like,
no, dude. This Raven is much different than past Raven. This Raven invites that shit because this shit keeps me on my fucking toes.
Right?
And I have a perspective in life that I never had before. As I go and I see the comedy world, and I realize that 90% of comedy, especially roast comedy, is never done out of malice.
No, yeah.
It's not done to be mean. It's done to be clever. It's done to be, it releases something to be able to laugh at yourself.
It's funny because I loved watching the roasts, the Comedy Central roasts. They'd have those, and you're watching them, and everyone is laughing their balls off. But then there was the one, I can't remember whose roast it was for, but I think it was, whatever. Kellyanne Conway was there. One of Trump's female allies was there.
Yep.
And everybody there ripped into her in a way where you're just like, oh, y'all aren't fucking around. Like you're not just having fun anymore. You guys are viciously, and it's funny because there's been two people on those roasts that people rip into almost with a hatred. It was her and Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore. They ripped into him so hard, and if you ever get to watch how people reacted to those two very different figures, and then watch everybody else, the comedy changes.
Oh yeah. And
so you guys can see the difference. Watch how people reacted to those two, and then how they reacted to everyone else. That's just, everybody's laughing, or even if they're not, sometimes they pretend to be offended, but it's bullshit.
Yeah, there's literally, if the lens through which I view life now is, if you consider that nobody's saying anything out of malice or to be mean, it changes the perception of every conversation. Because like communication, I could be like, fuck you, or I could be like, oh, fuck you. And it's like literally you're saying the same thing, and it has like two different. So communication is a weird fucking thing in that aspect. But like literally, I don't get offended by anything anybody says, even if they say the wrong thing, because sometimes you have to say the wrong thing to know, hey, that's not something to say. Now
that's a line. You crossed it. Yeah.
Now I can become a better person. Now I can change, because I recognize we're constantly changing,
Yeah. We started getting chat, so I'm going to go back into this just because I want to keep these people going. Russ Allen says, hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you, man. I hope you are, too. I hope things go much better for you. Much love to you and your whole fucking family, man.
And by the way, sorry, people, we haven't been talking back and forth with you, but me and Chuck ain't chopped it up in a long time, and I'm having fun with this motherfucker. We talking about him showing his titties. That's the key to the fucking universe. I just want to see fucking Chuck with me everywhere and be like, Chuck, show your titties. And then all of a sudden, bitches everywhere be showing their titties. And then I show my titties, and then somebody finally sucks on a nipple.
Right?
God damn it, women, suck on nipples. Fuck.
Our lives are filled with the process of making memories. Everything that happened yesterday, a few hours ago, a minute ago, is a memory. Yeah, that's true. Chuck is right. Memories are present memories that are processed over time and are either, what else do we have? Wendy says, that's one reason people embellish stories of their memories, because they can't remember exactly how it happened. Yep. Okay, cool. I got caught up. That was easy. There was a couple others, but they were chatting between each other, so that's fine. You guys have fun. If any of you guys have anything to say, fucking go ahead.
I feel so bad. Like, I feel rude, but every single time I feel rude, I think about Sarah posting that shit earlier and Steven Seagal behind me with his dick out, but it's actually Tom from Big Dog Inc. with his dick behind me. And I'm like, God damn it, Tom, put your dick away. Can't you see we're on a podcast? Fuck you, Sarah.
Sarah, I love that you did that to him. That's fucking brilliant.
I love you. Oh my God, it's horrible, dude.
So with comedy being the new thing that you're doing, man, or newer, because you've been at it, at least a year now?
It's coming on a year in January. It'll be
okay,
because it started right around my birthday.
So do you have do you have goals now? Like, are you set out goals where you're like, I'd like to be touring by this time, or I'd like to be even moving beyond my little area by this time? Like, is there anything that you're looking towards doing, or are you just focused on, I just need to keep making my name, keep doing my local shit, getting my shit tight, and then I'll know when I know?
It's literally everything. Like, I mean, not to talk bad about any other comedians, but in my mental state, particularly coming from the comic book industry, like I get what the game is. The game is a lot about getting fucking good at your craft. Once you get fucking good at your craft, the game is about standing out and being original. Once you get good and you stand out and you're original, the game is about fucking putting out something that's so fucking good that people take notice. Once you get to that point, it's about exposure. And you have to do something that fucking exposes it to a level where you can acquire the fan base. Like The Gift led to Zenoscope. Zenoscope led to alcoholism. I'm just joking. It didn't lead to alcoholism, but it led to me being a professional writer who a bunch of shit. So like everything leads to the next thing. So in my head, I'm kind of like, right now, I'm just trying to get good. Right now, I'm learning about the process of comedy. I did 4 sets yesterday in a row. First set was awesome. Second set was awesome. Next day, went and did 2 more sets. First set was awesome. I'm like, oh God, I'm doing the same set every time, and I can feel it getting smoother and smoother. This is great. And then I did the 4th set, and I blanked the fuck out. And I was like, it took like 30 seconds to recover, but I'm like, oh, this is comedy as well. So it's like this constant like refinement, as well as sitting there gaming in my head of, okay, what do I have to do to get the level of exposure? Like we're sitting here and we're just talking and we're chopping it up doing a podcast, but yet I'm sitting there conscious enough to say, hey, Chuck, that 5-minute thing is actually a thing. Maybe that's something that can be incorporated in a funny fashion. And oh my God, we pulled it off because we edged the fuck out that blueberry muffin like a motherfucker, Chuck. I'm so impressed with you.
Thank you. That was fucking tough. Oh, fuck. And you know what? It worked.
Back to fucking. Speaking of being able to say fucking, so I started dating another girl. And oh my God, Chuck, you ever met somebody that was just cool as fuck? Like just a person that's just fucking that kind of good person. You're like, dude, and they're interesting and they're just that person. But it's just not there. You can't, the thing is just not fucking there.
Sometimes you can't fuck interesting.
Yes! It just fucking, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I've been unfuckable for 3 years. I know what this feels like. Maybe I should do this anyway. But my body would not listen. My body and mind would not fucking allow me. So finally, like the 3 bears, Goldilocks, there came a porn star.
She was just right.
Chuck, I've been working out, Chuck. I have been ready for this shit for a while. I lost 150 pounds for this shit. Oh my God, Chuck. And finally, it fucking happened. And you know what happened? 5 minutes into it, Chuck.
You were done.
No, everything was actually fine. I kept going. I did not stop. I did not know that when you're on testosterone, ladies, you can fuck forever. It never stops. And you keep wanting to fuck. So, Chuck, 45 minutes in, this shit feels amazing. I was keeping track of the time because she told me one guy she had sex with only lasted 57 seconds. And I was like, I know I could do at least 58. I know I can be 57 seconds. But we were watching the movie, so I'm keeping track of how long we're fucking, even though she don't know I know, I'm keeping track of the shit. But 45 minutes into it, Chuck, this feels amazing. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a wonderful experience. But I'm like, I can't fucking come. And that's when I realized, Chuck, the reason I couldn't come is I've watched so much porn that the sex wasn't wrong enough. Like somebody didn't need an A to pass a class. Like somebody didn't have enough money to pay for cab fare. Somebody didn't get caught shoplifting. Somebody didn't get escaped running across the border in Mexico.
This chick isn't your stepsister.
It's not your stepsister, dude. It's not wrong. It's not long, and I couldn't fucking come. And finally, like a fucking pro, she starts doing some porn star shit, and I'm like, oh, I can come. And at the very end of the fucking conversation, I was like, somebody's not sucking a dick this year. Because I said if I didn't get laid this year, I was going to try gay. And thank God I don't have to suck a dick this year.
It would have been really great if she turned to you and would have been like, I would have if you'd asked. You just gotta ask, man. I'm right here.
Oh, God.
I was actually gonna ask you, did masturbation make it, like, you know, obviously porn, masturbation, all that kind of stuff, doing it for that long, did that make it more difficult because you're used to one certain thing and now it's like, because I feel like I'm ruined for hand jobs.
I have no concept at all, because all I know is right now is like when I was 14 years old. I'm always ready to fuck, dude. Literally, I'm on testosterone like every week. I take testosterone now because my testosterone was so low, and it's not a fucking joke. It rewinds the clock like 20 years. I can do push-ups now.
How expensive is that shit?
Testosterone, my insurance covers it.
Fuck you.
Yeah, man. Arizona healthcare when you're poor. Guess what, taxpayers? You are paying for me to have a hard dick on a regular basis. I appreciate your support. I pay taxes too. But I still haven't filed mine because I've been distracted lately.
Arizona, your Republican asses got Raven Gregory laid, and he appreciates it.
Oh my God, they did. Fuck. I love you. Fucking.
See, now Raven is seeing red.
Fucking shit, man.
Russell Allen says exposure is hard to get with all the media available to consume out there. It's true, man. It is tough. You just got to find your niche, your thing. And I think in a lot of ways, Russ, you just got to, when you have the opportunity, you keep pushing down that road. And I know that things are really tough for you right now. So take your fucking break and we'll be here when you're feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, a lot of,
does that answer?
This whole creative thing is such a weird beast. I mean, a lot of people, I'm assuming, because I haven't been one of those people in forever, but a lot of people go through life. And that's what they go through. They're like, okay, I work, I make money, I pay my bills, I take care of my responsibilities. Maybe I have a dream to do something different with my life. Maybe I'll go to college. Maybe I'll work towards something. But people that chase a fucking dream that literally has no guaranteed of being successful are a different fucking beast, and it gets exhausting. When I see a bad comedian, I don't see a bad comedian. I see somebody busting their ass and chasing their dreams and having a life on top of it. You know, that's a hard fucking thing to do, but you do it because it makes you happy. If it's not making you happy, stop fucking doing it.
Yeah.
That's literally, unfortunately, if you're wired like us, you can't.
Yep. Yeah, it's all you got. Yep.
You were talking about the writing block thing. How much do you beat yourself up when you don't write? How good do you feel when you do? You know what I mean?
Use that drug.
That's it. That's
it. Yeah. The completion is a drug all in and of itself. My writing partner on the novels that we've been working on, he finished a chapter and then immediately went off and started working on his comic shit. Because he was like, I hadn't completed anything. I've been fulfilling and doing the other side of comics and such for so long that when I finally got to finish something writing, the dam was burst. I had to keep going. And I'm like, yeah, it's because you got high. You got high on the writing, on the feeling of completion, on doing it. It's the act. It's an addiction to sex, addiction to substances, addicted to writing. It's all the same creation. It's the same shit, man.
Yeah, and there's something really fucking tangible about switching between a passion in two different mediums. Like to go from novel writing to comic script writing, it's like both of those styles accentuates and helps the other. You become better by trying these different approaches and saying, I take a lot of stuff from stand-up comedy now, like the rule of three, which anyone who does comedy knows about the rule of three. And the human brain is wired for this, and we don't realize that. And I'll take that and I'll pull it into comic book writing, and I'll be like, oh, this is why I like this shit I wrote so many years ago, because unconsciously that's what I was doing. But now I know what that is. And the only way you get that is by trying different styles outside of your particular discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, absolutely true, dude.
I love that we could talk about nipples. We could talk about not saying fuck because of Skynet. We could talk about fucking Jason David Allen Frank and all this fucking shit. I fucking love these conversations with you, dude.
Thank you, man.
Every time, man. I'm not even joking, man. I wish you were pussy so I could just say I miss you and you would come and get me. You'd be like, I can't say no to Raven.
I'll be right in there. Oh, fuck, dude. No, absolutely. And you know what? You've been so fucking good to me. Too, on the other side. Like, dude, I got to talk with Matt Hawkins. That was because of you. I got to hang out with fucking, just last week, I got to hang out with Andromeda. And she was great. By the way, did she tell you that I said you're welcome?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you know what I'm talking about, right?
You know what you're talking about.
So I'm gonna tell the story because people need to understand sometimes how mature relationships happen. Yeah, I'm glad to do it, dude. I'm very glad to do it. So she messages me after the show and she says, Are you married or in a serious relationship? I said, as a matter of fact, I am. And she goes, oh, okay. Is your wife into women? I was like, fuck, I've been barking up that tree forever. Nah, man, I'm afraid not. She goes, okay, well then, because she was introduced to me via you. So she goes, okay, cool. Well, I just took a fresh titty pic. I'll send it to Raven instead. And I was like, tell him I said you're welcome.
Oh my God. Andromeda, those titties were fucking beautiful, motherfucker. What? Oh my God. I've seen the titties before, but she I don't know what happened. She gave super titties or some shit. And I was like, Chuck, I appreciate you, motherfucker. You good people. You got your titties fit to me.
That whole thing, that whole moment, that's how you fucking handle things, boys. Don't just send your dick out. She messaged me. She said, are you allowed to see this? Girl, I wish I could, but my wife would not be cool. I can't. That was her handling it right, me handling it right, and then Raven going, I ain't seeing shit. Show me some titties. Everybody won. Because now I feel a little better about the fact that I was able to say no to titties. She handled the situation well, and she got what she wanted, and you definitely got something too.
Oh, I love titties. Hey, you know what's crazy? I realize now that I'm on testosterone, for years, I always was like, you know, the dick pic shit that women deal with all the fucking time, the dick pic bullshit. I was like, what motherfucker is stupid enough to think that shit will work? And it literally took me getting on this much testosterone, losing this much weight, and working out on a regular basis to be like, oh, wait a minute. I know why motherfuckers do that, because they have hormones, and hormones make you stupid as fuck. Like you're sitting there and you're talking to a girl that you haven't even been on a date with, but you really fucking like, and you're just like in your head, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to tell you all my fucking feelings and thoughts and emotions. And you're like, oh, this is how I fucking feel. Love me. No,
it's the rush. It's the dopamine. Yeah. And Wendy even said it. She was talking about the other stuff, the addiction to sex, all that kind of stuff, but it's the dopamine. And that's the thing where guys are like, yeah, I can't wait till they see this thing. And it's like, they're not going to react the same way you are, motherfucker.
They're literally sitting there and their dick is like, dude, send her a picture of your dick. And he's like, no, this isn't going to work. And he's like, no, trust me, this time it'll work. Dick's like, dude, he's like, dude, trust me. He's like, this has never worked before. This has never worked before for anybody. I've never heard anybody say this has fucking worked. The dick is like, dude, trust me, this time it's going to fucking work.
Yeah.
It's the fucking hormones. Ladies, I apologize for our fucking hormones. They're horrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, they are. Raphael says we all got to try barking up that tree. You know what, man? You just got to show the dog the tree. At least show the tree and say, It's right here. You interested? No. I tried. Maybe walk them back to the tree? No. Okay, all right. But you at least got to show them the tree. Russell says, all that matters is knowing you're doing it for you, and the people who come to you to talk to you about your life, characters, and about your world are priceless. Yeah, man, all those connections are beautiful, and they help us to keep doing this.
Somehow, when he wrote that and you were reading it, all I thought about that was that he was talking about masturbation.
It can be part of it.
Like, all that matters is knowing you're doing it. And I'm like, well, I'll probably be doing it later. And the people that come to you, I'm just like, well, those are porn stars that obviously come to you and they talk about your life. I'm like, hey, characters. And sometimes you look at porn and porn is characters. And, that orgasm is pretty priceless. So, Russell, that's how I interpret your fucking words. See, communication gets weird.
I know that this is a dirty word when used with you, but I have to ask anyways. How jealous were you when Pat Shan did that Exotica convention and fucking killed it?
Oh man, I was so fucking happy for him. Like,
dude, right? I was like, holy shit, that's some out of the box motherfucking thinking.
Dude, the cat, hey man, that I talk a lot of shit about that motherfucker, but that cat he's fucking some next level fucking.
That was next level for sure.
He's doing some wild shit, dude. That's what's cool, man. There's some creators out there that like we're very prolific and we create things. But if you can take that creative mindset and apply it to the marketing aspect, there's a quote in, I think, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where somebody's taking some fucking class and he's trying to teach them how to be a best-selling author. And he's like, if you want to be a best-selling author, you have to be able to sell your book. And she's like, I don't want to be a best-selling author. I want to write something great that people love. And it's like, you could write something you fucking love, but if it doesn't sell, it
won't be best-selling.
To be a best-selling author, you have to know how to sell. And it's like, that's a part of the creative mindset where if you can take the creative like mojo that you use in writing and creating things that you love and apply that to how do I reach people? How do I get this to like Pat did? That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Dude, if you know the history of comic book conventions, you never do a comic book show in Vegas ever, because the competition between gambling and comics does not fucking work out.
Yeah.
This motherfucker took comic books to a porn convention and blew. That's some risk-taking, G'd up shit outside the box, man. Creatives can do that shit sometimes. That's wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why, you see dudes at the horror shows. They're bringing all the horror books. Yes. So why did it work there, but no one thought, hey, I got some adult books. Why am I not trying to sell at this shit? And it's funny that this is a new thing.
Also, man, Pat be next level gaming, man. He been selling that shit he's not only sold other people's shit for so long and his own shit for so long. He's one of those creators out there right now that's actually just on another level. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, and he hit 6 figures on his Kickstarter. That's fucking wild.
That's nuts. Being a one-man machine and doing that is insane.
Yeah, well, he has his wife and he has a publishing team. He actually has a fucking publishing company, dude. He's legit fucking doing it, dude. He has an executive editor. He has a fucking staff writer and marketers and he and his wife, his amazing wife and shit. So he's really fucking going for it. It's gonna be cool watching what he does in the next couple years, because that man, selling a fucking comic book at a porn show. How the fuck you pull that shit off? Porn's free on the internet, motherfuckers. You don't buy a fucking comic book. You gotta read in a place where you're going, because the essence of it is jerking off. And who the fuck is jerking off to Pat Shan's work?
And paper and jacking off do not go well together.
Thank you. I'm a grown ass man. I ain't jerking off to no comic. but somewhere out there, there's motherfuckers jerking off the Pat's comic.
Dude, have you ever read like Milo Monero? Like, fuck, dude, it is a thing.
Yeah, no, man. When I was a kid, I used to do that shit.
Love Milo Monero.
Dude, I learned half the shit I know about sex from reading Bondage Fairies, manga erotica as a kid.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking squirrels and shit, and they were like tying like shit around the squirrel's balls so he couldn't come and shit. And I was like, oh, that's what that shit is. That's why there's cock rings. Oh, the squirrel had a cock ring. This is a really weird thing for a 16-year-old boy to be reading.
Right.
They used to sell me my comic books when I was underage. They weren't allowed to do that shit, but that's how G's did it back in the days of the comic book world.
Oh, fuck, man. Wendy says, marketing is something that way too many creators either don't consider or have a clue that they need to know how to do. It's unfortunate. Yeah, dude, if you think that you can just come out and do this shit on your own, Pat had to work his way to be able to have those people with him, to be able to do that shit. You don't just jump into that shit.
Again,
you got to fucking work at it.
It's a fucking process. It's all, if you, here's the thing a lot of people seem to have this weird misconception of. There is no end of the journey. If you're doing what you love, the journey is just enjoy the fucking journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a long one, motherfucker.
Yep.
This shit is not fucking short. So it's like, I was like, okay, look at all this shit that motherfucker had to do to get to where he is. He had to be a writer. First, he had to write and not get paid to write, to a point where people would pay him to write. Then he had to write fucking characters that were written, created by other people. He had to do so fucking good at writing other people's fucking characters that he continued to get to write other people's characters, which is a hard fucking thing to do. It's like mind reading. On top of that, he's creating stuff, and then he goes off and he becomes a fucking publisher of his own shit. And then through fucking weird fucking circumstance, he decides to do a fucking porn book. And through weird circumstance, he decides to do a porno convention and fucking blow. And all that shit came from was just doing something he fucking loved. But there's no way that motherfucker saw 10 years ago. He was like, you know what I really want to do? I want to have a comic book at a porno show and do really well.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. There was no way that was a thing. Absolutely.
But I bet you that motherfucker 10 years ago wanted to meet Lexus, Texas. And he's like, I wonder what I could do to meet that bitch. He's like, I'm going to write this fucking comic book one day, and it's going to be so good. I'm going to meet Alexa, Texas, and somehow that motherfucker pulled it off. He got
That's pretty great. Wendy Steen Shaner, what's going on, girl? It's so good to see you. And what?
It's wild, dude.
Having to do other jobs to make a living makes it difficult. Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Dude, speaking of crazy shit, man, what do you think about this whole Trump shit with Twitter? How much of a big dick move is that Elon Musk was like, okay, we've lifted the ban. You could come back, which I knew was fucking coming. And Trump is like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, bitch. What the fuck? I don't even like Trump. And I'm like, that's the most pimp shit a motherfucker.
It is a smart move. It is I don't like the dude either. But it is a very smart move to be like, no. I don't need you. Yeah, I get it. Also, he knows that he's going to get attacked so hardcore, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. He's in a place right now where he can talk specifically directly to his sycophants. Why would he go to somewhere where his sycophants are a small fucking number and everybody's going to just roast him? That's just dumb.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's as much as I hate the dude, it's a smart move.
Yeah.
And Wendy, we love you too. Thank you so much, hon.
Miss you, Wendy. Congratulations on the stripper fairy strippers, bondage fairies. We were talking about bondage fairies, and my brain thought of you.
You know what?
Whenever I think about a squirrel, it was something tied around his balls and his dick so he can't come when he's fucking fairies. I think of you, Wendy. There you go.
Oh shit. I don't know. Do you know this guy?
Fucking John. Dude, I was gonna try to get you in on the podcast, John, but then I got high because our guest, I was gonna have two of my buddies, Sean McCarthy. I was trying to get Sean McCarthy. He was I did a contest when I first started in comedy, and he gave me this note that I've kind of taken forward in my life. He's like, I did my set, and one of the notes he gave was like, let the audience love you. Like, don't attack the audience. Just let them love you. When I go on stage, I always have that in the back of my head, but I've taken that kind of thought process and taken it out into life. I'm like, we look so bad at ourselves all the time, where we don't look at life and say, we're good people. We want to put good out in the world. We're good fucking human beings. Let's let the world love what we are, and what we are good fucking people. And I go out in the world and I'm just like, I just want to let the world love me, whether I'm writing something silly on Facebook to make you laugh, whether I meet a homeless person on the street, whether I'm talking to my boy Chuck Video with the Canadian bacon on the fucking internet. I just want to let the world love me. And it just like gives me this feeling of peace that I never had before. Yeah. So shout out to Sean McCarthy.
Yeah. And you know what? That is a great note, because I've seen comedians who kind of attack their audience, and it turns me off instantly. I'm like, nah, dude, I don't like it. I'm fine with, like, you want to go after the hecklers and go to town. I think that's great. But man,
that's a rule of comedy is the heckler. If you heckle or you're sitting in the front row, you are a target. You are going to get talked about. If you speak out loud and we hear you and we're professional enough, we're coming after you. That's the fucking rule of fucking, but you don't attack especially if you're doing bad and they're not laughing. I see comedians attack the audience. They're like, oh, that was funny, bitches. If you don't do it right, it's like, all right, Johnny, knock him dead, baby. Ladies,
kill it, bud. Break a leg.
Is appearing at Coop's open mic right now in Peoria. If you guys want to see some funny shit, get out there, support local comedy, because all we want to do is make you motherfuckers laugh so that one day maybe you'll fuck us.
There was a comedian. I love how you talked about the front row, because that's a true thing. There was a famous comedian who said one night he's up there in front of the mic, and there's a guy right in front of him, and he's just ripping into that dude. Just ripping in. And eventually he goes, sir, I'm sorry. You're such a nice guy. I'm only doing this just because you're right in front of me. So why don't you move a couple seats over, and I'm sure I'll leave you alone. And the guy's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So he gets up and he moves about three seats over. Comedian grabs the mic, walks over about 4 feet, puts it down, and fucking rips back into him again. And I was like, oh, shit, that's fucking funny right there. That's good shit. That's like even the guy who's getting ripped out at that point has got to be like, all right, this is keep going. That's funny.
Dude, Dave Chappelle.
Hey, Josh.
Dave Chappelle is really fucking wise, and he says he has a statement where he says everything is fucking funny until it happens to you. I mean, dude, everything in life, if you look at it through the prism of finding the funny, dude, you know, Chuck, how hard this life is. And like I said, it doesn't get fucking easier. You have to find a way to look at life and find the fucking good. Otherwise, this shit will eat you alive.
Yeah.
I've been, you see the shit with Jason David Frank? I hope I'm not fucking up his name. Green Ranger.
No, Jason David Frank, you're right.
People are like talking about the depression he suffered, and he was just going through a divorce as like maybe the possible reasoning behind suicide and shit. And I'm like, dude, I have been driving down the fucking road, Chuck, happy as fuck. Like recognizing that true happiness, those moments where all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm happy. Yeah. It lasts about 5.6 seconds. And then it goes away and it's on to when is this going to happen again? I was driving down the fucking road and I was like, all of a sudden it hit me. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm actually happy. For the first time in a really long time, I'm fucking happy. Maybe I should drive into oncoming traffic. I'm like, dude, right. The thought just came out of nowhere. It's like one day we have to die. And more than likely, I'm not going to want to die when I want to die. It's going to be pretty bad or horrible or some shit. It's not going to be good. I was like, maybe I should just go out while it's perfect right now. But that's what people don't understand about depression. Depression is this weird fucking thing that nobody really fucking understands except people that have it.
Yeah. There was a lyricist who wrote, and this is one of my favorite lyrics. He says, I'm so happy. How do you write about that?
Yes. Thank
I was
you.
like, fuck yeah. No, that's Harvey Danger. It's off their first album. And when I heard that lyric, I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, because the problem is that there's too much of that happiness that's being written, and you know it's bullshit. That fucking Backstreet Boys level bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
everybody here's the thing that people don't fucking realize is regardless of what you think sells or what you think doesn't sell, there is an existential fucking truth to the essence of something that's created that speaks to people's souls. That thing cannot be faked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole thing about what was it was a Tool song, Sober, was about a guy who feels like he cannot be creative unless he's fucking fucked up. And how many great artists have lived by that fucking mindset and created the most amazing fucking works. Jimi Hendrix, the most fucking all these motherfuckers. The shit's fucking real. It's fucking a weird fucking dynamic of being a creative fucking individual, how these fucking like things work in our brains.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it? Wendy says, best response to an audience member speaking out during a comedian set was I remember this one, was the comedian asking, do I not look busy? Hold on, let me stop what I'm doing. What do you have to say? And that's true. She held her hand up to ask a question. He said, sorry, is there something? And she goes, yeah, can I ask a question? He said, no, I'm going to ask a question first. Don't I look like I'm busy up here? Like, what are you doing? I was like, yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite fucking, I'm gonna fuck this joke up. And now I know why people don't tell other people's jokes, because we know what it's like to tell other people's jokes and we never do it right. So this comedian came on stage and he just went for it. I think his name is Adam Gonzalez. I'm not sure. This guy's fucking amazing. He didn't do a set at all. He just went to town. And there was this black guy talking in the audience, and he looked at him and he was like, yeah, it's fucking weird. It's like the movie's talking back. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. I was like, dude, I nearly died. I was like, oh my God, this guy got this shit. But yeah, man, it's fucking cool, man. I love that we get to share our appreciation of things that we love, that we understand the creative process behind. Like, we could talk about writing, we could talk about comedy, we could talk about art, we can talk about music, and it's all this beautiful fucking thing of just what we love and what it takes to make that love in existence. Sometimes that love takes a lot of pain and a lot of hurt to come true, but you know, you wouldn't have fucking Teen Spirit if Kurt Cobain didn't say hi to a shotgun.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because Brian Manell said Trent Reznor's exploded onto the scene with his most successful yet viscerally emotional albums, Downward Spiral, by being real, open, connecting. And yeah, it's true. I mean, that's how we got songs like Hurt and then Closer, you know, and all that kind of, like, absolutely, man. Yeah. Yep. And you're right. You know what? Okay, so I have something. This was one of my moments that I'm very proud of. This is my heckling moment, but it wasn't really heckling. A band goes up there, and I'm working in a bar, and they're playing, and they ended up playing a Nirvana song, and they finished the song, and the guy goes, this is when Nirvana was great, you know, before the shotgun. And the crowd goes fucking silent. Silent. And he was hoping someone would laugh. And I can hear that. And I know what that's like. That oh shit, I just lost the audience. So I cut my hand, I go, too soon! And everybody fucking starts laughing. And now he's got him back again. We're all together again. We had fun. and they can go back and play again. But yeah, went dead silent. Nobody was fucking with that shit. They're like, and I was like, too soon. Like, you got it. 25 years later, too soon.
That's fucking dumb.
Right? Paul Gomez, I'm depressed because I still have on my bucket list to be. Have you not been on this show? Paul, I swear you've been on this show.
The only way you can get on this show is if Chuck wants to fuck you or he's showing you his titties after telling you his story about ungrateful lesbians.
Paul, if you haven't been on here, we're going to get you on, man, because I didn't even realize that.
Like she going to see all them titties and not show her titties.
Dude.
And try to say that this is how you get titties shown. What the fuck? God damn it, lesbians. Do better.
Dude, that's it. I was like, you're greedy. That's the problem. Because, like, look, let's be honest. And from one fat guy to another.
Hey, look, there's some titty. There's some titty. You ain't fucking alone. Lesbians, you can show your titties. You safe. Yeah. We ain't doing shit to you.
Dude, and from one fat guy, I'm sure you've done this too. You go into the pool with your shirt on because you don't want to show everybody that shit.
Excuse me, Chuck. I would just like to say I no longer identify as fat.
You should. Good for you.
I now identify as flap because there's a lot of flapping going on. I don't know if you know this, but when you lose a lot of weight, there's a lot of flapping. I know my name is Raven, but I did not know there would be this much flapping involved in my life. Didn't see it coming, guys. There's a lot of flapping.
No.
I'm not talking about my dick either. I am talking about my dick.
Well, that too. That too.
Yeah.
Paul Gomez says, hey, I was under his table at a Comic-Con. You were, and thank you for that. That was, you should have gotten on the show just for that. So I apologize. Brian Manel can't be on my show yet. That's right. But, dude, you've been an amazing fan. I love your questions. And soon enough, you're going to have something to show off, and we're going to have you on, and we're going to talk about all the shit that you learned on this show. Because that's what I'm excited. I'm excited to do a Brian Manel show because he's been a fan all the way through. He's here all the time asking the questions. I want to know, who did you learn the most from? Don't answer these questions, by the way, Brian. You're going to answer them on the air when you finally publish The Wretched. Yes, I remember the name.
Oh, nice. It's hard to remember shit. There's so much, like they were saying earlier, a lot of content out there, and it's constantly pouring out.
Yeah.
I've known Pat for almost my whole career, and I've only read a couple of his books. That's somebody close and dear to me, you know.
Yeah.
So it just there's a lot of shit out there. I have the Swamp Thing compendium, the big oversized thing. Alan Moore is one of my favorite writers in the world. I can't stand his shit now, but I grew up reading him, and I'm like, this is the master. This guy taught the fucking housecraft on fucking with the style of writing. I'm trying to read his fucking Swamp Thing shit, and I've had this book for like 10 years, and I can't get into it, but I remember it being the most beautiful thing I read as a kid.
And I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, that it translates. I know where some of my style comes from. It's from some of those fucking scenes. There's a line he puts in there where he's like something about writers being liars. He's like, what did you expect? All writers are liars. And I'm like, oh my God, this motherfucker was just, next level shit. But I can't even read that. It's like weed and attention span. It's hard to fucking zone in nowadays.
Yeah.
It seems more and more difficult to like really zone in. Like we were talking earlier about the games and shit. It's hard for me to shut off the rest of life and say, okay, I'm going to play a video game now.
It's the idea of focusing on one thing. We're in this ADD world where there's 1,000 things going on at once. And the problem with reading is reading says, no, motherfucker, not that, not nothing else. You look at this page and that's all you do. I have a chapter of my own book written by my writing partner that I need to be reading, and it's hard to just sit there and read just that because there's all this other shit. I've got Raven fucking Gregory here. I've got a hot-ass wife. I've got video games. I've got the entire fucking internet. I've got all this shit. Why the fuck would I read your one thing? because it's beautiful, because it's amazing, because I want to move forward with that book. But try telling your brain that, because your brain's like, nah, dog, I'm not interested.
Yeah. By the way, for any new writers out there, if you ever wondered why it's so hard to get people to read your work, that's what you're competing with.
Yeah.
And if you deal with submitting to publishers in this motherfucker, oh my God, everything out there is fucking trash and garbage. 90% of the submissions that get sent to publishing companies, we don't fucking read. And the other 10% is like playing the lottery, because only way you get good in this business is by doing it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And the cream rises to the top. You don't stay in this business long if you're not good or you're not really passionate about what you do. So,
in fact, I would say you have to do both.
Yes, very much so. And you have to get past life. You know life. You have to get past, like you were saying earlier about having to work and shit. Dude, you know how much that shit can kill your fucking, and then health, and all that.
Yep.
Jeez, it's never ending.
Yep.
So kudos to all you people out there who are dreaming about being published and becoming a writer or a whatever your dreams or ambitions are full time. Kudos to you fuckers.
You know what though? Kudos to you as well, because I'll tell you, you are actually the exact kind of creator that I think people should aim to be. And here's why. No. Come on. Here's why I'm saying it. You can say it all the time. Here's my reasoning. Okay. Here's my reasoning.
I said I did all the drugs.
I heard that, and I'm not worried about. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about
doing all the drugs because he heard Raven Gregory. Chuck was like, "You're the one I created, man."
This is the one. This is the guy. Let's do this. No. I don't mean that shit. I mean, you went out there. You wanted to be good at the craft. You wanted to get out there, and you wanted to make a life out of it. You weren't doing any pie in the sky bullshit. You got in there. You did the work. You kept doing the work. You kept at it, and you produced over 500 books as a writer. That's not even including your fucking editing.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very fucking
true.
Yeah,
because you went there, you put your fucking nose in there, and you did the fucking work. And the problem is that I see too many of these new guys. And I mean, as far as being in books, I've done 100 myself in the last 5 years. It's a lot of fucking work, guys. And doing that while also having a job, it's fucking difficult. But you got to get your nose in there. You got to do the fucking shit. Because there's too many people who come in and they go, I'm going to be the next Stan Lee. And I was like, no, you're not, because that's not a fucking thing. And the world doesn't need another one. We already had one. We need you to be you, and you don't even believe in yourself because you're worried about being somebody else.
Yeah, one of the dopest things my mother, she hasn't read any of my shit. One of the dopest things my mother said to me is I was talking about something, and I referenced Stephen King. And I'm like, Mom, come on. I'll never be Stephen King. There's only one Stephen King. And her response without pause was like, but there's only one Raven Gregory. And I'm like, whoa. It's fucking true. People fucking have this conception in their head of what success is. Success is not a fucking destination. It's literally doing what you love, keep doing what you love and what makes you happy, and hopefully people love what you love and support you, and that becomes something. Because the gift, I almost didn't have a career. The gift wasn't making enough money. I had to stop it at issue 14. My career would have been fucking done. But because I grinded, I did like 20 shows a year, and me and Zenoscope met on the path. And they were fans of my work. I was fans of their work. They wrote a story, Grim Fairy Tales, that was kind of Twilight Zone-ish. I wrote The Gift that was somehow Twilight-ish. And we connected, and all of a sudden they did Final Destination. I was like, dude, I'm born to write that. I kill somebody in The Gift every issue, and it's cool. They're like, it's written. They're like, but we're doing 7. And I was like, I'm born to fucking write that. I love the movie 7. All of a sudden, that became this thing. And then that became Wonderland. And then Wonderland became comedy. And it's all this fucking beautiful fucking journey that if people would get out of their heads for 1 second and stop asking, what do I have to do to blow? And just enjoy the moment. They wouldn't be fucking so despondent about where they are in their creative endeavor.
Honestly, people, if you really want to blow, you just got to keep sucking that dick.
Thank you, Chuck.
That's it. Just keep sucking that dick, and one day it will blow.
Suck this dick, motherfucker. This dick. It doesn't have to be a guy anymore. I'm free and clear of the fucking guy.
Yes.
This dick is open for fucking business.
Yeah, I like this. Neil Gaiman, yeah, anyone can tell a story, but no one can tell a story in the same way as you.
Yeah, no, but your personal experiences, you are a fucking snowflake. You are 1 in a million, dude.
Yep. So do it your way and stop worrying about other people, man.
Yeah. And just do it.
Dude, you're just showing up now. Dude, the worst shit is way back like an hour ago. So don't even, this shit is nothing. You came into the tame shit.
Blueberry muffins. Jesus Christ. Chuck, this was a great fucking podcast. We went hard in the paint from beginning to end. Every time I come on this show with you, it's my favorite fucking time, dude. I love fucking hanging out with you. I love that you interview the people. Like, dude, the Matt Hawkins podcast was amazing. He's so insightful.
He was great.
Yeah. Dude, that cat gave me so much shit through
dude.
Career. Just the way he looks at life is beautiful.
Well, and what that show did when you introduced me to him was I was like, if I can talk to him, I can kind of talk to anybody. Like, why am I? Because I've been so fucking afraid. So, Ali Garza's going to be on next week. That's because of you.
Ali Garza! Wait, who else?
So I haven't mentioned her yet. But my wife is a huge Witchblade fan.
You said Ali Garza, and then who?
Ali Garza, and then the next one, in a couple weeks, I got Christina Z coming on the show.
Oh shit! Witchblade Christina Z. Oh my god, dude, she's cool as fuck, yo.
Yeah,
I love her, man. She's so fucking funny, dude.
Well, she's getting into music, so it's like I contacted her and I said, look. My wife and I, we love Witchblade. We love the shit you did there. I'd love to have you on the show, but this show is all about creatives. It's not just about comics. So if you want to come on and talk about music, that'd be fucking great too. And she was like, I'm in. Let's do it. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Christina Z is one of the creators of Witchblade way back in the day. She wrote the first story arc, I believe, with David Wall.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Silvestri, Michael Turner, incredible writer. Also, an incredibly snazzy dresser, and now doing music. This is wonderful, man. Fucking, I love the fucking laughs.
Yeah, I'll make sure you know about that one. It's coming up in the very soon.
Hey, Chuck, this has been a wonderful time, but I have to go smoke cigarettes because I have an addiction that I cannot fucking beat. And it's called
I have to eat food because I have an addiction that I cannot beat, and it is filling this fat face.
Is it going to be Canadian bacon? Is it after a good podcast you go eat Canadian bacon?
You got to, dude. There's no choice.
Fucking yes. I know one thing I won't be eating this year, and that's dick. Oh. I'm not eating no dick this year, motherfuckers, because your boy finally got some pussy. Thank you, Internet, for being there in this horrible journey in life, this horrible 3-year period where pussy wasn't even a fucking thing. God damn it, I never want to go back to the dark side, Chuck. Don't make me go back, Chuck.
You don't have to. You're good now. You're good now, man. We got you, brother. We got you. Guys, go ahead. Say one more thing.
I was in the Phantom Zone, Chuck. I was like, let me out this shit. Let me get some pussy. I miss pussy.
Guys, thank you so fucking much for coming out. Raven and I loved having you guys. This was impromptu shit, and you guys came out, and we all had a blast together. I love all of you. My name is Chuck, and fuck do I give a fuck. Take care, everybody.